Welcome to Miss Smith's Math Tutorials. I'm Miss Smith. In this video, we're going to be talking about segment relationships with circles. So the first segment relationship we're going to look at would be two tangents. So notice that tangents just barely touch the circle and then they keep going. And here we have two of them. So this creates a segment from here to that cross right there, and we would call that segment A. And then we also have a segment from where it touches the circle here to where we cross here, and we'll call that one B. Now for two tangents, A and B are going to be equal to each other. The next relationship we'll look at will be two chords. So notice how I have two chords within this circle, and our relationship says that A times B equals C times D. So this part of the chord A times this part of the chord B would be equal to this part of the chord C times this part of the chord D. The next relationship would be two secants. So notice I have two secants that are cutting through the circle. And for this one, we've created a couple different segments with these secants. So we've got our segment A from here to here. We've got our segment B from where the circle ends to this cross right here. We've got our segment C within the circle, so from here to here. And then we have our segment D, which starts at the end of the circle and ends here at this cross. So our formula for two secants would be the outside part times the whole part is equal to the outside part times the whole part. And another way to say that would be our segment B times A plus B is equivalent to our segment D times C plus D. So again, our outside times the whole equals our outside times the whole. The next one we'll look at will be secant and tangent. So notice I have my tangent here and I have my secant cutting through the circle here. And this one actually has the same setup as our two secants. So for this one, we've got a segment A, which goes from here to here, and a segment B, which goes from here to here. And then we have a segment C, which goes from where it touches the circle to right here at the cross. But this one actually has the same formula. It starts out very similar. So our outside B times the whole, A plus B, is equal to the outside C times the whole, which is also C. So written a little more clearly, that would be B times A plus B equals C times just C. So what you'll notice is C is the outside part, and that's all there is. So it's also the whole. Some people may like to write this as C squared right here. It would mean the same thing. The next one we'll look at will be a chord and diameter. So notice here's my chord that does not cut through the center of the circle, and here's our diameter, which does cut through the center of the circle. So the segment relationship that this forms right here with the chord is that the diameter bisects the chord. And what that means is it cuts the chord into two equal pieces. And we've shown that here with these little tick marks. The diameter cuts the chord into two equal pieces. The last one we're going to look at is tangent and radius. So here we have our tangent, and then here we have our radius. Now notice the radius starts at the center of the circle and comes to the outside edge of the circle. And as we touched on in our angle-arc relationship video, these form a 90-degree angle with each other. So we can extend that into our segment relationships, because if we created another line here, which I've shown right here, I've labeled it C and shown it with a dashed line here, then all of a sudden we've got a right triangle. And for right triangles, we can use Pythagorean Theorem. If we know at least two of the sides, we can figure out a third side. And that principle of Pythagorean theorem is a squared, so this side squared, plus b squared, right here, equals c squared, right here, our hypotenuse. Let's look at a couple of these examples in action. So notice I haven't labeled what the segments are in each of these. You have to look at them to determine what the relationship is and therefore what formula you can use. So notice in this first one we have a tangent, which just touches the circle and then it keeps going, and then we have a radius. We're told that the radius is 4, and from here to here is x, that's what we're trying to find, and then we're told that from right here to right here is just 1. So here's the thing, we also know the distance from here to here, and we know that because it's a radius as well, right? A radius starts at the center of the circle and goes to the edge of the circle. So from here to here is also 4. So that means this whole side is 4 plus 1, which is really 5. So at this point we can use that Pythagorean theorem, a squared plus b squared equals c squared, to help us find x. A we'll mark as 4 squared, right? That's one of our legs, plus our other leg, which is the one we don't know. So we'll just call that one x squared, equals the hypotenuse, which is always the longest side. So in this case, it's 5 squared. Okay, now 4 squared is 16, plus x squared equals 5 squared is 25. So now we would want to solve this for x. We'd want to subtract 16 from both sides. And I'm going to bring our work up over here. So 25 minus 16 gives us 9. So we've got x squared equals 9. And we want to get x alone, so that means we need to take the square root, right? How do we get rid of a square? We take the square root. So that cancels out the square and cancels out the square root. And what we do to one side, we have to do to the other. So we're left with just x equals the square root of 9, which is 3. Okay, let's look at the next one. So this one, notice, has 2 tangents. They don't cross the circle, they just touch the circle and then they keep going. So when we have 2 tangents, remember that told us that A was equal to B. So that means our segment right here, which we'll call A, which starts right at this cross and ends right at that touch, and our segment B, which starts right at the cross and ends right at the touch, they are equal to each other. So that means we can set x plus 9 equal to 4x minus 3. And we would then just want to solve for x. So we'd want to subtract x here and bring it over here. So we've got 9 equals 4 minus 1 would give me 3x minus 3. We'd want to add 3 to both sides. 9 plus 3 is 12 equals 3x, and then we'd want to divide by 3. So we get x equals 12 divided by 3, which is 4. Okay, in this next example, notice that I've got 2 chords. My rule for 2 chords is A times B equals C times D. So that means I can take 2 of my sides, so 4 times x, we'll call that A and B, and it really doesn't matter as long as you're picking on the same chord, right? So 4 times x equals C times D, so 8 times 5. Now we'll bring down our 4x, and 8 times 5 is 40. And then of course we divide by 4, and we get x equals 10. Okay, in our next example, notice we have a tangent and we have a secant. So that secant is cutting through the circle. And when we have a tangent and secant, remember that's that rule that goes outside times whole equals outside times whole. Or we could say that as, in this case, A times A plus B equals C times C. The outside part, our 4 times 4 plus 9, the whole, equals our outside part, c, 2x, times c again, because that is our whole, 2x. And then we just want to solve this for x. We'd need to distribute that 4, or you could add and then distribute however you want to do it. So 4 times 4 is 16, 9 times 4 is 36, equals 2x times 2x is 4x squared. 16 plus 36 gives us a 52, equals 4x squared. We'd want to divide by 4, and we'd get x squared equals 52 divided by 4 is 13. And then, of course, we do want to take the square of both sides because we don't want to know x squared, right? We want to know just x. So that gets rid of the little 2, and we just have x. But if we do that to one side, got to do it to the other. Now, square root of 13, if you try to put that in your calculator, it's not a perfect square like we had up here when we said square root of 9 and we just got a whole number 3. That's because 9 is a perfect square. But when you have a square root of 13, and we try to put that in, notice I get a decimal. So you've got a couple options. If your teacher or the question says leave it as a simplified radical, then you would just say x is square root of 13. We can't break 13 down anymore. Or if they said write your answer as a decimal, then we would just say or 3 point, and let's just call it 61. So x is either the square root of 13 or approximately 3.61. Okay, here's one for you guys to try. I will post the answer in the video description below. This has been Miss Math Tutorials.